Jayden Daniels may have changed the NFL forever.
It's not normal for somebody to just all of a sudden turn into a Heisman winning quarterback.
He has a big secret to his success.
He's the best rookie quarterback I've ever seen.
Jayden Daniels to the end zone. What a throw by Jayden Daniels. It's a miracle.
One thing Daniels told us that's really helped him is the use of virtual reality.
Everybody's still crediting the fact that the VR stuff helps him see the game.
He'll use the virtual reality.
Virtual reality.
Virtual reality. Virtual reality.
Cam Ward is taking a page out of Jayden Daniels' playbook.
Cam Ward and the Titans are using this VR technology.
There is some benefit to being able to see things when you're not in the heat of it.
You don't believe in that?
No. All I'm saying is that dude that's coming, that ain't no virtual reality. That's reality.
Jayden about to have everybody using virtual reality.
It's just like another way to prepare mentally before the game.
It's going to completely change the NFL game.
The virtual stuff is great.
Yeah, it's been a really strong tool.
VR can be a big tool for especially young players.
Every young rookie quarterback's going to be using this.
If Cam Ward's any good, it's definitely going to spread.
How do they not all have it now? Does anybody want to win?
This is the future of quarterback training.
The publicity around Jayden Daniels and his stellar rookie campaign has put a spotlight on virtual reality training, and now the Titans are betting on it for Cam Ward in 2025. But what does VR training really do for quarterback development? If it was so important to Daniels' success, why isn't every team using it? And most importantly for the Titans, can it actually help turn Cam Ward into a superstar? What's up everyone, Justin Graver here for the Music City Audible channel. Today we're exploring VR's rise in the NFL, how Jayden Daniels used it to win a Heisman Trophy and then Offensive Rookie of the Year, what the Titans are hoping it will do for Cam Ward, and finally, the slow, quiet spread of VR usage throughout the league. We'll unpack quotes, potential benefits and drawbacks, and whether or not this is the edge Titans fans are hoping for. If you're new to the channel, thanks for tuning in. Stick around, like the video, hit that subscribe button, and drop your thoughts in a comment below. Okay, let's get into it. Right after I tell you about Sinkers Beverages' 40th birthday jamboree. If you're in East Nashville, you do not want to miss this event on August 9th at 5:30 p.m. at the Basement East. There'll be live music, tons of free giveaways, and tickets are only $10, which includes 2 free drinks. That basically pays the price of admission right there, plus a gift bag full of swag. All proceeds go to benefit the Martha K. O'Brien Center in East Nashville. The link to get your tickets is in the video description, so come out, have a good time, support a good cause. All right, let's get into Cam Ward and the NFL's virtual revolution. Ward's arrival in Nashville brings hope to Titans fans after a 3-14 season that featured the worst passing offense in the league. To support Ward, the Titans added a number of pass catchers and bolstered the offensive line, but their boldest move might be investing in the same VR simulator used by Jayden Daniels to speed up his transition to the NFL, as first reported by Easton Freeze of A to Z Sports.
He recently wrote an article called "Titans are following game-changing VR trend in order to ensure Cam Ward is prepped as possible for his rookie season beyond."
Which takes us back to the question at hand. How much does VR really help? And can it make Cam Ward the next Jayden Daniels? To answer that, let's take a step back and analyze how VR training really transformed the career of Jayden Daniels. And hey look, if you already know the background on Daniels' work with VR, that's what the chapters are for. Navigate forward, it's easy. Alright, we're gonna get into it. The story starts really with Cognilyze, which is a German startup company founded in 2019. After initially creating a simulator for soccer training, the founders pivoted to American football in 2022. That was the year Jayden Daniels transferred to LSU from Arizona State, and it was also the year LSU's performance innovation team first connected with Cognilyze. While at Arizona State, Daniels had struggled to really read defenses or even quickly process what he was seeing.
And intercepted! Jay Shaw is now bringing it out. Second turnover this half for Arizona State.
LSU's Director of Performance Innovation, Jack Marucci, had been obsessed with finding new and better ways to train quarterbacks' brains. His team at LSU helped Cognalyze both test and perfect their new VR simulator. This one designed to train quarterbacks' brains at faster than reality speeds, immersing players in thousands of scenarios and simulating real-world situations without the wear and tear of physical reps. And Jayden Daniels became their primary test subject.
They credited Jayden for even being willing to try on this head and go through this process.
After more than a year of perfecting this technology, Daniels finally began using the VR simulator ahead of the Mississippi State game in Week 3 of 2023. And that's when everything changed.
Here's Daniels on 4th down. Gonna launch it to the end zone. Neighbors holds it in again. How about Jayden Daniels and this Tigers offense roar?
And he went from being a good dual threat quarterback to a record-setting Heisman winner to a guy who's now tearing up the NFL as a rookie.
By using the Cognalyze system for 3 days a week at LSU, Daniels was able to add an additional 250 to 300 mental reps per week. That's like an extra 4 or 5 games worth of reps every single week.
As our playbook, you get to go against the defensive looks, certain coverages and stuff like that. So just to speed up the process and, it's moving faster than normal human beings.
And Daniels was getting these additional reps at 1.7 times the speed of a real game, sometimes even faster than that.
By the end of the season, he was going in before the game and running reps at 70% faster than baseline speed.
Yeah, we started on Wednesday, then Thursday and Friday, right.
Yeah.
Right.
And they actually bumped it up the last game.
Yeah, we bumped it to max, and it was maxed out.
Yeah.
As you probably know, Daniels went on to win the Heisman Trophy after a stellar 2023 season. And he was so sold on the benefits of working with VR, he actually made it a condition that any team who drafted him in the NFL would need to invest in Cognalyze's simulator. The Washington Commanders did just that, with general manager Adam Peters and head coach Dan Quinn fully buying in.
The technology has a lot that's really good because it's customized to us and to our plays. And then the other thing that's so unique about it, it can, travel, whether you're home, the road, shot clock, the location. So the specifics of a game to make it as realistic as you can.
Offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury said the VR technology is like a flight simulator for the NFL. Kingsbury has been a huge proponent of Jayden Daniels' work with VR, saying, quote, "I'm all in on it," and calling it, quote, "an unbelievable technology."
He uses the virtual reality stuff constantly, and I think that really has helped him just hang in that pocket and nail those reads and go through it.
Daniels continued using this system every day throughout his rookie season. It helped him better understand coverages, spot blitzes, and just generally process faster. All critical components for rookies like Daniels last year or Cam Ward this year to master as they face the complexity of the NFL for the first time. And the results speak for themselves. Daniels' rookie season set a new benchmark for rookie quarterback performance. And because many, including himself, credited his success to the VR training, it put VR firmly in the spotlight.
Everybody's still crediting the fact that the VR stuff helps him see the game, and so his ability to do what he's doing
and process
and make decisions and see it.
He swears by it helping him make decisions and kind of prepare himself for these games on Saturdays.
The big question, though, is does VR actually work? Would Daniels have succeeded without VR? I mean, he is a supreme athlete with all the requisite talent, demeanor, and work ethic that it takes to succeed at the NFL level. So was VR the key to unlocking his potential, or just a small piece of the puzzle?
Of course. Of course this solves the problem of how to be a good quarterback.
Well, what does it really mean to work? Obviously, a baseline level of physical and mental talent is required. It wouldn't turn me into a Pro Bowl quarterback. But what I think it does successfully is add years worth of experience to a player's mental abilities, giving young passers the opportunity to improve the non-physical aspects of playing the position without having to go through the growing pains that can get players benched and coaches fired. If Ward is able to experience 4 or 5 games worth of mental reps that feel real every single week, by the time we get to week 1, Ward will have been able to play 4 or 5 years worth of NFL games, which could give him a massive head start in reaching his ceiling. A recent study found that over a 3-day training period with 17 quarterbacks, VR training resulted in an average 30% improvement in decision-making skills, particularly with pre-snap reads and finding open receivers. And it makes sense. If you practice at 1.5 or 1 3/4 speed, the real games feel slower and therefore more manageable.
I think Mario accidentally bumped it down, I think, a week or two. He goes, "What is that?" Because it looked like it was in slow motion. And it was normal speed.
So I think VR works. But the question is then, if the technology is really such a powerful tool, why isn't every team, every quarterback already using it? What is stopping VR from spreading like wildfire across the league? Well, it's starting to. After Jayden Daniels' success, other teams have taken notice.
The best thing to happen to that product, let's be honest with you, is Jayden Daniels doing well.
But actually, Jayden Daniels wasn't the first NFL player to use VR. Not even close. You see, about a decade ago, a handful of teams tried out an older version of this technology with a company called Striver Labs. Sean Payton, at the time the Saints head coach, was a big proponent, pushing for VR to enhance quarterback training. But the technology just wasn't there yet. The simulations lacked the realism needed to translate to the field.
Because I've had it on years ago, like years and years ago, when they was trying to test it out. I put it on, and I'm looking, I'm like, man, please, this ain't the same.
That's no longer the case. Cognilyze's technology, utilizing the power of AI, has taken the realism to a whole nother level.
It's very realistic, where everything is not like a video game. It's realistic movements, and it's realistic coverages and stuff like that.
Cliff Kingsbury echoed this sentiment, saying, quote, "It's as real as you can get to getting game reps, and your mind doesn't know the difference. Your mind thinks you're doing it."
I thought it wasn't real. Your mind makes it real.
That huge jump in the realism of the simulation, along with the public support from Jayden Daniels, are, in my opinion, the biggest factors in VR's rise now. But even if the system needed some improvement in the realism department back in 2015, the Vikings still found value in using VR. It's unclear if or when they ever stopped using it, but Case Keenum credited a large part of his surprisingly successful 2017 season to working with VR. You remember that season, right? Case Keenum comes out of nowhere to lead the Vikings to the playoffs, the Minneapolis Miracle. He credits VR to getting him ready to play at that level. And last year, the Vikings were still using it to get J.J. McCarthy mental reps while rehabbing after his knee surgery.
You know, a lot of different quarterbacks are doing a lot of different things these days with virtual reality.
Coaches from the Vikings, Browns, Patriots, and Seahawks have all confirmed in recent press conferences that they have used or plan to use VR with their quarterbacks like J.J. McCarthy, Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, Drake May, and Jalen Milroe.
The other thing you do with quarterbacks, and this is kind of a new thing within the last 10 years, and I had it at the Vikings when coaching quarterbacks, is virtual reality. VR can be a big tool for especially young players. Something it's really dependent on the player, how they like it, but that's something that we'll be working the next 3 weeks with that.
Yeah, look, the virtual stuff is great, and that's another way that you can steal some of those reps without being on the football field.
And of course the Titans, who sought this out on their own back in January after seeing how it worked for Jayden Daniels. According to Easton Freeze, Brian Callahan had been exposed to this kind of technology a few years ago while in Cincinnati. But obviously, that wasn't the Cognilyze system, because that hadn't been developed until 2023. And also according to Easton, Cam Ward had taken his own personal interest in the virtual reality training after speaking with Jayden Daniels. And the Titans had to work hard to get it up and ready for use by the time Ward reported for rookie minicamp in May. So we know about 6 teams using virtual reality, but here's the thing. VR is likely far more widespread in the NFL than we even realize, because the clubs who are using it are doing so in secrecy. There's also a bunch of college programs using it too. That's only going to increase the rate that it spreads.
It's probably going to continue to spread. If Cam Ward's any good, it's definitely going to spread.
The Titans are hoping VR can help Cam Ward in much the same way it helped Jayden Daniels. And after seeing the success Daniels had, why not give it a try?
Hey, if it worked for Jayden Daniels, maybe it'll work for us.
Titans quarterback coach Bo Hardigree spoke recently about how Ward is using the technology, noting it's a tool Ward can use in structured sessions and on his own, helping him get those extra reps beyond the limited time players and coaches are allowed together on the field, and to help him continue adjusting to the speed of the NFL during this downtime before training camp starts.
It just offers that for him. He can use it on his own. I can use it with him, so I get instant feedback a little bit during meeting times. So it's been good, and we'll just continue to develop that throughout. Once the off-season program's done, moving into training camp, getting ready for the season as well.
And while not everyone is sold on this technology actually translating to real football, the benefits of working with VR seem to far outweigh any potential deficiencies in the system.
Technically, it could create bad habits. I just think you'd have to be a bad quarterback and a bad coach to fool yourself into making those bad habits.
Let's break down how it works. Cognalize's VR can actually be programmed on a week-to-week basis to simulate the exact coverages, blitz packages, and defensive tendencies of upcoming opponents, built from real game film with AI-modeled player behaviors. The system records actual defensive tendencies from opponents' recent games and can create customized scenarios to replicate specific challenges a player might face on game day. For example, if a team's upcoming opponent rotates to a cover 3 after showing a too high safety look 41% of the time, then over the course of 100 virtual reps against a pre-snap cover 2 look, the defense will rotate to a cover 3 on 41 of those 100 reps.
But I've learned that if you plan for every variable, a happy outcome doesn't have to be left to chance.
One incredibly valuable aspect of training with VR is the amount of data that players and coaches can access. For example, eye tracking technology enables coaches to see exactly where the quarterback is looking, allowing them to understand if he's progressing through reads correctly and how quickly that is happening. And then the system gives feedback on the performance and tracks improvement over time. Cognalize has stated that Jayden Daniels was making reads 80% faster after working with the simulator. And beyond just preparing you for specific schemes or understanding your own playbook, the simulator is an immersive experience with the ability to recreate the sensory chaos of NFL stadiums. Crowd noise calibrated to specific venues, precise play clock and scoreboard placements, even jersey colors and combinations matching the opponent's actual game day uniforms, and going as far as the lighting conditions, using photogrammetry to craft digital twins of real venues.
Yeah, it's like real life. Like, it's hard as playing. You just have to like try it, but it's like real life. They load in the stadium that you're playing in. It looks exactly like the stadium, and it's moving faster than like how a normal human being would be moving.
This level of detail allows Ward to experience what it's really like to play in Nissan Stadium or in enemy territory. It triggers the same neural pathways as a physical rep, according to Stanford's Virtual Human Interaction Lab.
Your mind makes it real.
So imagine Cam Ward getting the chance to experience that deafening roar of a road game at Mile High Stadium as many times as he wants to before he actually runs out of the tunnel on opening weekend. Now, obviously, VR won't simulate the physical toll of playing at high altitudes like Denver, where oxygen is scarce and fatigue hits harder, but the experience Ward gains in the headset is still real experience. The mind makes it real.
Your mind makes it real.
So when he makes his NFL debut, he'll have had the chance to experience that game hundreds of times in the simulator.
He was like playing the game before he played the game at a speed that was faster than what he would see in a game.
And yes, the Titans have been using it at 1.5 times actual speed with Cam Ward. Who knows if they'll move it to a faster speed as he gets more comfortable with the system, but for now, Easton Freeze reported 1.5 times actual speed. Now, I don't think we can overstate the power of this kind of training. And I don't want to be too hyperbolic, but the mental aspect is often the hardest part for players to grasp coming out of college. And successful athletes have often talked about the power of visualization in finding success. VR training can add an entirely new dimension to that visualization process. As powerful of a tool as it is, like I said before, I do think there has to be a baseline level of talent, and that includes a baseline ability to have the mental capability to process what you're seeing, because You can take hundreds and hundreds of reps at faster than reality speed to improve your ability to see the field and go through your reads, but if you don't have the ability to get better at it, then that's just going to be a waste of time. The thing is, I see Cam Ward as a high-level quarterback prospect coming out of college. I think his ability to process, to quickly go through reads, and to his awareness of what's happening on the field around him is at a high level, which is why I think for him specifically, virtual reality training could be huge. Again, this is like if Cam Ward entered the NFL in year 3 or 4, as opposed to entering it as a rookie. If he really puts the time in and uses a virtual reality simulator as much as Jayden Daniels did, the amount of experience that he gets from that, seriously, I cannot overstate it. I think it could be massive for his ability to hit the ground running. What I think VR really is a ceiling maximizer. I don't think it increases what a player's ceiling could be because, again, that baseline level, that ability to process things and to make every throw, those are huge factors, right? You have to have that to get the most out of VR. But if you do have those tools, like Cam Ward does, this can take your game to the next level and really accelerate your ability to reach that ceiling. I think we'll find out a lot about whether or not VR works by tracking the careers of guys like Jayden Daniels. We've seen his rookie season and how incredible it was. If he continues to play like a top 10 or even top 5 quarterback in the league, and then Cam Ward, if he hits the ground running as a rookie, I think VR is going to get even more publicity, but also tracking the careers of guys like Drake May, JJ McCarthy, who we know have been using the technology as well. And then if a Browns quarterback, a rookie Browns quarterback, Dylan Gabriel or Shadur Sanders, gets a chance to play, we'll see how they look knowing that they're also using VR. And same goes for Jalen Milroe, who's currently the backup in Seattle. But I'm really curious to follow the careers of these guys to get a bigger sample size of players working with virtual reality that we know about and just see what it does for their careers, if anything. To wrap this up, I honestly believe that we are on the cusp of a game-changing shift, not just in the NFL, but in how athletes prepare in all sports. We just talked about how it's quietly spreading through football, but in some sports, VR has been a staple in the training process for years. Think how prevalent golf simulators are for honing your swing. NASCAR and F1 teams rely on these simulations with drivers logging thousands of virtual laps. And there are numerous Premier League teams, NBA teams, and MLB clubs that have already invested in similar technology. I think it's going to continue spreading. It'll trickle down to college athletics and even high school sports as the technology becomes cheaper and more accessible. This is only the beginning. And in football, it won't stop at the quarterback position either.
Give it a half decade and it'll probably be the thing for everybody, not just quarterbacks. There's some utility for other players, which we can talk about as well.
Running backs, from scanning to, identifying different people. So for an offensive line or for a running back, I think that's probably the next step.
See how it can help all of our quarterbacks and even other positions too. I mean, running back protections, punt protection, maybe there is no, end in sight with the possibility, so that's exciting.
Imagine an entire meeting room full of players wearing virtual headsets, running through an installation of a playbook before they go take the field and do it physically. Imagine how much more efficient that installation process would be. In an era where the amount of time that players and coaches can spend on the field together is already so limited, this could be an extremely valuable tool. Now, caveat, I will say, as realistic as VR has become, it cannot replicate everything. It's not a physical training tool. It sharpens your mind. It quickens your decision making, but it can't make you, say, a more accurate passer.
VR is not the place where it's going to completely replace any of your current training.
But that's why Cognalize's CEO said, quote, "We're not replacing practice, we're enhancing cognition." VR is a tool. It's not a magic bullet, but its impact is undeniable, and I think it could revolutionize how coaches teach the quarterback position. I wouldn't be surprised to see it become standard practice in the NFL in the next handful of years, because Jayden Daniels' jump from a day 3 prospect to a Heisman Trophy winner and the reigning NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year legitimized the power of virtual reality, and I think the Titans are extremely smart to bet on it for Cam Ward. But what do you think? Am I crazy, or is VR the future of sports training? And how will it shape Cam Ward's rookie year? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, hit that subscribe button, and while you're here, check out the Music City Audible podcast for more Titans coverage. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks again to Sinkers Beverages for supporting the channel. Remember to get your tickets to the Sinkers 40th birthday jamboree in the video description. Until next time, y'all stay safe out there, and tighten up.